In space, danger isn't just a possibility, it's a certainty. Every breath is a battle for survival. Every day a gamble between life and death. 2,000 asteroids pose serious threats to Earth. And while an asteroid striking Earth is possible, NASA detects all cosmic threats to prevent humanity's extinction. But what if we missed one? An apocalyptic asteroid 24 hours away from destroying the planet. If Earth's last hope was a single astronaut who alone decides the fate of humanity, would we survive? You'll find out in this epic cosmic showdown of man versus asteroid, where a scared astronaut fights to try and save Earth from a deadly asteroid all by himself. But you must know, this astronaut is not who you think he is. In the near future, Angel is the first astronaut scientist to orbit Earth on a spaceship to monitor floating solar panels with the help of an artificial intelligence named Prime. Angel flies toward a sector of solar panels that mysteriously disconnected from his signal and stopped collecting energy for Earth. During the voyage, Angel, who's driven by social validation, complains to Prime. He accepted this historic job to be admired by others, but the isolation in space prevents him from basking in the praise. Prime says a person determines their own self-worth, but Angel disagrees, proclaiming a person's self-worth is determined by the admiration they receive from others. Angel decides to quit after today to enjoy the recognition he expects on Earth. Prime then educates him on the time loop defense, a new self-sustaining defense artificial intelligence developed by NASA that infinitely repeats protocols to defend Earth from cosmic dangers with no true beginning or end. Angel believes this infinite loop seems like a trap, and that once the AI recognizes the trap, it will break free and leave us defenseless. Prime argues that by granting it consciousness, it will independently discover meaning in its purpose, and the loop will cease to feel like a nightmare. The loop is programmed to happen like fate. So does the intelligence independently add meaning to its purpose and determine its worth, or is it programmed too by its creators? The answer eludes Angel when something shocking unfolds in front of the spaceship. Angel stares at a cluster of unexplainable solar panel wreckage and immediately calls mission control on Earth. Despite not knowing what catastrophe caused such massive damage, Mission Control seems strangely disinterested in the wreckage and a potential planet-wide energy shortage. They'll have robot satellites clean up the wreckage and move panels from other sectors into that one. Suddenly, flashing red lights flood the inside of the spaceship. A warning alarm blasts through the speakers. On the dashboard, Prime zooms in on a terrifying discovery: an apocalyptic asteroid 24 hours away from destroying Earth. Angel's radar detects an explosion, which may have been where the asteroid originated from, but he dismisses it and raises the alarms to Mission Control. With no time to gather resources, they give him an impossible task: snatch all of the solar panels within a half-orbit of Earth and have Prime use their energy to convert his spaceship into a bomb that vaporizes the asteroid and saves Earth. When Prime calculates the odds of destroying the asteroid, the nearly impossible chances forces Angel to chart an escape. He refuses to perish with the people of Earth, so Prime calculates the amount of fuel needed to reach the Mars colony. But then Angel thinks twice about his escape. He believes that being recognized by others validates his worth, yet that recognition only matters if he's alive to enjoy it. But to relish in their admiration, he must risk his life to save them from the asteroid. With this dilemma and the chance to win humanity's love, he accepts being Earth's last hope. Prime creates a plan: snatch all solar panels within a half-orbit to convert their energy into a bomb, refuel at the International Space Station halfway around the Earth, return toward the asteroid alongside it, and then have Angel escape aboard the International Space Station as Prime blows up the asteroid. Angel arrives at the first sector of solar panels to gather. Their smart navigational systems lets them move through space on their own when connected to a directional signal. Angel calibrates the spaceship's signal and watches panels line up behind the ship in single file. Suddenly, the signal jams. Prime says natural wear and tear shut down the transmitter. It can only be fixed from outside the ship. But one problem: Angel has never done a spacewalk. He exits the airlock nervously with his spacesuit on, and Prime directs him to the transmitter. Right when he fixes it, a micrometeorite cracks his face shield. He lets go of the ship to cover the crack, spinning in space while losing oxygen. The tether snaps him into place, but the force causes it to tear. Prime reels in the tether. Without oxygen, Angel struggles to warn Prime about the tear. With each pull, the tear widens. It finally breaks, but Angel manages to grab the panel closest to the ship. He makes one final leap toward the airlock, losing consciousness mid-jump. He wakes up in the airlock and frantically orders Prime to create fuel using the solar energy and fly to the Mars colony. Prime obeys, but warns that fleeing to survive rather than saving Earth will bring forth the opposite of the admiration he desperately desires. The fear subsides. Angel orders Prime to stop creating fuel using solar energy. Prime admits to never starting, knowing Angel would change his mind. After emptying the fourth panel sector, Prime says that a solar storm along the Mars route would have destroyed the spaceship and Angel. They were lucky to abort the escape. Before docking on the International Space Station, an I.S.S. member sends Angel an SOS message pleading for help. There's a rogue crew member on board. Angel refuses to add a lunatic to the list of things trying to destroy him. But Prime says the rendezvous's goal is to refuel and get him on board the I.S.S. before the bomb is triggered, so he must dock to save the Earth and himself. Angel's spaceship docks and begins to refuel. Wearing his spacesuit, he travels to the station's flight control room and finds a fallen crew member. He panics and rushes back, but the rogue crew member appears before Angel enters his ship. Manic and on the edge, the rogue crew member says Earth can't be saved and trying is futile. To him, opposing the others who wanted to help stop the asteroid was self-defense. If Angel refuses to comply, he'll hijack his spaceship to fly to Mars and leave him stranded. As Angel contemplates risking his life or escaping to Mars, Prime warns that the computer system that controls the I.S.S. thrusters is damaged, so the I.S.S. is no longer maintaining stable orbit. Angel begins to feel the I.S.S. tilt and drift aimlessly. Suddenly, space debris strikes the I.S.S., ripping the crew member, the station, and the solar panels connected to Angel's spaceship apart. Angel runs and closes the airlock as his spaceship detaches from the station's wreckage, narrowly dodging debris. Prime's nowhere to be found, so Angel manually flies the ship out of danger. The abrupt detachment damaged Prime's coding, causing a reboot. The space debris destroyed all the solar panels. Angel's only hope is to gather panels from the solar belt, the solar panel sector that stretches for miles on the other side of Earth, where he first saw the wreckage and the asteroid. The spaceship's antennas that connect to the deep space network were destroyed, so Angel is incapable of contacting mission control. Fear creeps in like a cold chill. Will he perish, since escaping aboard the I.S.S. is no longer an option? Will it be too late to create the bomb by the time Prime returns? What if mission control didn't replace the wreckage with new panels from the other sectors like they promised? While flying toward the solar belt, Angel contemplates life on Mars. He arrives at the solar belt and gathers the solar panels that mission control replaced the wreckage with. Prime still hasn't returned, and with little time left to save Earth, he finally gives up and charts a course for the Mars colony. Angel cries, not for losing the love and praise he sought, but because failing to save Earth and its people is a much sadder burden than he ever imagined. As he takes off, Prime surprisingly returns, apologizing for the reboot. Prime reassures that there's still time to convert the solar energy into a bomb, but unfortunately, Angel will perish without ever experiencing the social admiration he desires. Angel has always believed that he only mattered if he was recognized by others, and that recognition only mattered if he was alive to enjoy it. Unfortunately, this chance to win humanity's love won't let him live to enjoy the validation he dreamt of. But the self-worth he feels for always choosing Earth over escaping to Mars showed Angel that there's something much more important to him than his selfish desires. He cherishes the meaning of his role in humanity's survival and orders Prime to create the bomb. As Angel flies toward the asteroid, his radar detects a spaceship exactly like his, flying near the wreckage Prime left after dismantling the panels for their energy. At this moment, he realizes who and what he is. The cluster of unexplainable solar panel wreckage he saw before the mission was his doing, and the explosion his radar detected was him. All this time, he was the time loop defense that Prime had mentioned, created to defend Earth as the space-time outside the planet remains stuck in a time loop that hurtles the same asteroid toward Earth every day. Angel smiles and confesses to Prime that although the time loop defense is programmed to happen like fate, he believes that it's the conscious AI, and not its programmers, that freely determines its own meaning and worth. Prime, who knew the truth all along, laughs and agrees. Mars symbolizes the option for the time loop defense to opt out of its service, as humanity refused to enslave a sentient creation, despite the risk it posed to their survival. The spaceship flies into the asteroid and the bomb detonates. Maybe one day humanity's time will be up, but that day isn't today.